BYU, you're first up. All right. BYU rated number 11. All right. Rated number 11 in the preseason top 5 according to On 3 and the teams that they've done. So what do we know about BYU, right? Let's talk about BYU. BYU coach Kalani Sitake. We knew he almost took the Penn State job, right? We knew that was something that was going to potentially happen until Crumble Cookie came into the mix and said, "Hold on, before you're not leaving Utah, right? We can't have you leaving Utah for us, right?" So Kalani Sitake, he's back with BYU, right? BYU really has to kind of fix some things to compete with your Texas Tech, so to say, right? This is a team that they got some key players returning too, right? Some key players. You think about their running back, LJ Martin, right? 1,000-yard rusher. You think about their quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, rocking the 47, right? You think about this BYU team that went 12-2 last year, right? This is a team that dominated the Big 12 outside of Texas Tech, right? So offensively, they're going to get that firepower coming back into the mix. They're going to get that, that experience coming back into the mix, right? Now, defensively, so they got some key guys returning. You think about linebacker Isaiah Glasker, number 16, right? He'll be a top linebacker next year, right? You think about their safety. I'm going to mess this up, but forgive me if you're watching, right? Falatu Setule. Long story short, 83 tackles, led the team in tackles, right? Aggressive safety in the box. I love those type of safeties, right? He is going to be returning in the mix as well, right? And then, we got to talk DBs, right? I got to talk about my guy, Evan Johnson, right? Evan Johnson, cornerback, right? Led the team in interceptions with 5 interceptions. Good size too, right? 6 foot, 185-ish, right? And this was a defense that in history, they're known for gaining turnovers, a momentum switch, right? Really gaining more possessions, right? For their offense, right? This is a team historically, BYU has been known to, drag you into the mountains, right? Drag you out there into, Provo, Utah, right? And really trap you with a feisty defense that they've had, right? Some new players to keep an eye on. Big-time quarterback commit, Ryder Lawrence, right? One of the top 5 quarterbacks in the nations last year, right? Out of California. He picked BYU over teams like USC, over teams like Oregon, right? That just shows and says a lot about not just the BYU culture and the organization, but Kalani Sitake and what he's selling and the future that they're selling. I'm curious, in a storyline that we're going to hear a lot of, I'm curious to see what this is going to look like with Ryder Lawrence coming to the mix, with Bear Bachmeier, in the mix as well too, right? So what does that look like? Another storyline to keep an eye out for BYU. How are they going to get better on third down, right? How are they going to get better on third down? This is a team that wasn't great on third down. This is a team that really struggled in the red zone. So what are they doing to fix those particular issues, right? What are they doing to fix those particular issues? And that's some things that they have to address in the offseason during spring ball, right? There are some things they're going to have to solidify for, because they're going to need some young guys to come in to really carry the depth of that defense, to really carry the depth of that team, right? So BYU is going to be an interesting team. All right, BYU is going to be an interesting team. Let's take a look at their schedule. Right? Let's pull this up. All right, so their schedule. Utah State. I didn't even know that was a school that had a football team, right? So let's just mark that down as a win. Arizona's not going to be easy, right? Arizona is a team that played well last year, right? So they're a team that's not going to be easy. Colorado State, Jim Moore, Colorado State, right? New head coach. What that team's going to look like, that's going to be a big question mark, right? And then TCU on the road is going to be interesting, right? TCU on the road is going to be interesting. Iowa State. Iowa State's not what they were now that Matt Campbell has gone on to Penn State, all right, and happier things in Happy Valley, right? So Iowa State is going to be, I'm going to mark that down as a win, right? Let's play the game. We'll play the win-loss, loss, win game. Utah State, that's a win. I'm going to give them a close win versus Arizona, right? I'll give them a Colorado State a win. TCU, I'll give them a win. Iowa State, I give them a win. All right, so they're starting the season 5-0. Now here's their big test. Road game versus Notre Dame. I believe it's a road game, right? I can't see that. But when they play Notre Dame, that's their first true big test, right? Especially after coming off 3 Big 12 conference games. Now they got to go to play Notre Dame. CJ Carr, we just talked about him, right? A top 5-3 quarterback, in my opinion, right? They get past that game, they get a little bit of breathing room because then you go to UCF. We don't know what UCF is going to be, but Arizona State is looking to bounce back. Yeah, they lost Sam Levitt, but they had a good portal class. Got a lot of weapons at receiver and running back, right? Leek Brown from Texas, right? Omari Miller for Colorado. Arizona State got some dudes, right? And then their back half of the schedule is brutal. I'm going to be honest because you got Notre Dame, UCF, then you go Arizona State, Utah. I'm going to give them a loss versus Notre Dame. I say they beat UCF. And between Arizona State and Utah, they're going to lose one of those games, right? I'll say they lose Arizona State. I say they beat Utah, right? Baylor, they'll get a win. Sorry, DJ Lagway. No hard feelings. Kansas is going to be tough, right? And then Cincinnati. So my question, granted, I already know. Drop it in the chat, call me idiot, do whatever you want, right? Right? I already know you're going to be like, who is this guy projecting? Let's have fun with this, right? BYU fans, my question for you guys, right? This is a fan base check-in. I'm talking specifically to you guys. My question for you guys is the Big 12 championship, not just getting there, title win. Is the Big 12 championship realistic? There's no Texas Tech on here. That's a huge. You could get past Notre Dame with a win. You're playing with house money. If you're BYU, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, right? And listen, they got it. They could get through this schedule, but it's always going to come back to that Texas Tech game. And if, when, how they're going to be able to get over the hump, right? I think they could get past Utah, but we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out.